let's say that I walk into a room or whatever the case is, and they like me and they want me to, want me for the position, whatever position that is, right? They want me for that position, and now I have to actually perform and execute what I said that I could do. What if I can't? Or what if I don't?
I struggle with effective communication.
Really? Tell us more.
I will say like the biggest thing with me is that I kind of talk to everybody the same.
I wish I was better able to identify it, because it's like being aware of it and identifying it in a way where you can kind of like correct it. I didn't know how to correct it in the relationship because it was happening in real time, and it's like the expectation was happening in real time.
And still, I feel no pressure. Surrounded by dogs, giving you game, we giving you lecture. Say thank you to God, we got another day to be better. And if it get hard, just need another day with the fellas. We bout to give you that work. Say your name man like it's church. We finna give you that work. Just like Serena we serve. You want the truth by your shirt. My phone get fly like bird. But we all lost boys, no search.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Nun The Wizer podcast. To my right, I got the Commander-in-Chief, El Presidente, my big dog, Big Trip in the building. Show that man some love.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I like that.
Yes,
That was hard.
So I don't want to hear no bitching. Oh! To my left.
He's been using that word pretty freely today.
I said bitching. All right, listen. No smoke. No smoke. To my left, I got the audio engineer extraordinaire. My guy, Podcast Poe in the building, holding us down with the ones and twos. Press some buttons on that goddamn thing. All right, and you already know we got the First Lady, Miss Amara, holding us down on the camera. And of course, you got me, Big Dog Walks the Dominance, me in the building. We're going to have a great podcast for you today.
She's definitely the second lady.
Huh?
Nice.
Excuse me? Who was the first?
Oh shit! Some smoking here. I don't know who else would be the first.
I don't know what he was going
According
with.
to me, you're the first.
Right. It said, who was the first?
I don't know who else.
That's crazy.
Right.
I'll tell you guys off camera.
Yeah, no. Tell us now.
Man,
Yeah, we're gonna have a great show for you guys today. We're gonna talk a little bit about some insecurities. We're gonna talk about
Effective communication.
Speaking
of insecurities.
He already got one.
The way that no. I just it was a question, because how he started that off, right, and the whole bitching thing. Niggas really do be feeling a way about that.
Yeah, it's facts.
Is there a difference between bitching
and
bitch?
A bitch?
Absolutely,
bitch ass nigga.
Absolutely, yes. Come on,
Really.
absolutely. No, I'm gonna let you go first because apparently,
Nigga, this was a question for you.
Oh no, it's
Go ahead.
no, it's definitely different.
Yeah.
Because I'll be bitching. Sometimes I'll be bitching.
No, I agree, but somebody else out there,
and that's their issue.
all they heard was bitch. Fuck
So if I told you, stop
and you know what?
bitching,
And those men,
you'll be okay
and
with
that,
it.
Facts. Go ahead, Amara.
If I said to you, stop bitching, you'll be okay with that.
absolutely.
It depends on the setting.
If I was bitching,
It depends on no. That makes it worse. When you're really bitching,
I was doing what you said I was
if you was
doing.
really bitching, because realistically,
I'm self-aware.
Like,
I'm self-aware enough to know when I'm probably like kind of like going overboard.
Yeah.
And if I'm able
nah,
to,
facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
it's like all right,
You think
let me
so,
chill
though?
out. Yeah, not throwing the camera.
Listen, let me take a couple more sips so the real me can channeling my inner.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you guys know right now you're going to be in for one hell of a show. Because what's in this cup stays in my cup.
Stays in.
Well,
You can tell this nigga was a dancer.
Right.
First off, I feel like I'm being judged.
You
But
were
you're absolutely right. I was a dancer.
Right.
But
no, I do think that there's like we had the conversation earlier, like being called a bitch versus a bitch ass nigga. I think those are different, not much different, but I think one's a little bit more offensive and intentional. Like you're digging a little deep.
Which one do you
deeper.
think is worse?
Bitch ass nigga is absolutely the worst.
Yeah.
So if I was like, all right, bitch.
I mean, that's pretty bad.
it's the tone. It's the tone and everything.
Yeah, I mean, tone matters, context matters,
Yeah.
but tonality it definitely plays a part in stuff like that.
I feel like bitch ass niggas.
I feel
okay,
like
you're trying to get
out
under
of
my skin.
all of them, for me personally, if you said stop your bitching, I would take less offense to that out of the three that we named.
Gotcha.
But that's just me.
I
Again,
think it sounds good, but again, like context matters.
no, I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
saying I wouldn't be offended. I would say I would probably be the least offended if you said that.
Yeah.
And again,
Out of the three, I'd be the least.
And again, context matters. Obviously, I'm joking versus if I was like really, I'd be like, what the fuck
I think once
about?
you say the word bitch,
once
any
I
guy,
hear bit, it could be
they
big,
like
it could
going
be bit.
Hands.
off the hinges after
I'm
that.
gonna knock you first, and then you could tell me after that all you was trying to say.
I
was
mean, I guess
Bitcoin.
that really ties into today's topic of insecurity. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I don't really get bothered by that.
after he just said,
I mean, for me personally, I mean, again, it has to really be on some deep dark. Like, if we're already arguing or whatever, and you're like, "Stop bitching," then it's probably going to be like, I feel like you're digging. But if we're just joking around, I'm like, "Stop bitching." Yeah, again, context matters. But yeah, I think people that just hear the word bitch and just always offended by it, I think that's a little bit of an insecure thing. I don't care
I think that's guys.
because I feel like
think
I'm
it's
insecure versus the word nigger with an ER.
"You don't."
I said I'm very insecure towards that word.
Okay.
No
to
matter.
nigga.
No, A is fine with the ER. I don't care who's saying
Oh.
it, but especially when
So what's the difference between that and bitch?
one
The
has
ER is getting your
300 years of connotation of
400.
400. Sorry, I'm losing count.
Math is off.
Yeah. Hey,
Math ain't mathing, huh?
it ain't mathing, apparently. There's a connotation that's 400 years old on one. The other one is like not that one.
It was a little older than that, but I get what you're saying.
Well, how old is it, Amara? Does it have a birthday?
It might.
Nigga,
Slavery was for
How's the
400
birthday?
years.
He's like, I remember the first time I heard
Slavery
the word
ended in 1776. If I'm not
Oh, it was
wrong.
June 22nd,
1401.
1619. Those niggas got off that goddamn boat,
That's crazy.
and they've been niggers ever since.
Man, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
See, this is why I shouldn't have this in my cup.
Yeah.
But yes. So
Seriously though.
before we discuss insecurities,
Yeah.
we have a beautiful golden book on the table
Love that
by
book.
my man Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Would you like to indulge on what this book is about?
Amara got it. It's her favorite book.
Oh, it's your favorite book, Amari? Please put us on.
So, 50
Please
Cent,
title
love
the
him.
book.
Cancer, But it's Hustle Hard?
Harder, not
Sorry.
smarter.
Hustle Harder. I actually don't have the physical book. I just have the audio book. But he just basically talks about like just basically his endurance as far as like changing his mindset and also how he handles people. So there was one chapter in the book where he's talking about how to pull power in the conversation. So I think it was Bruce Willis, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so he had a conversation with Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis talks very soft when he's in a group of people.
He doesn't talk at all now, but go ahead.
Oh, this nigga.
That's crazy. But back to my point. He talks very...
Why that remind me of that MLK joke?
what
He was like,
joke?
well, I got to be ML. Martin.
Sorry, too soon.
Yeah, very, very soon.
A little bit.
But basically, he talks softly to kind of pull power in the conversation, because when you talk softer, somebody has to lean into you. So they're giving their power away to hear what you're saying.
How do you feel about that? I don't necessarily know if I'm.
It works. I've tried
It does work.
I've tried it.
I was talking soft to her just naturally because I was in the store. She's like, you trying to get on my, what'd you say? Something about gaining your attention and power?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm
no,
like-
nigga.
It's like,
Would
but I
you
read
have
it.
felt like that prior to reading the book?
I have noticed it now because I
Yeah.
do that.
I definitely agree with that. I notice it more, but honestly, prior to that, I probably would have been a little annoyed. Like, this nigga can't
Yo,
speak up.
up.
That's because that's where I'm
in the
coming
back,
from.
like,
I'm like,
hear you.
I hear you. Like, are you doing that on purpose? Because like,
On
But
purpose?
Yeah.
there's always like somebody that's soft in the room that you're just like, everybody shut up.
Right.
They're
so
trying
we
to
can
talk.
listen. Yeah.
Because
And then
you're like, you're
everybody
feeling bad because
undivided
everybody else is
attention.
overpowering them.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, but I'm
but-
not feeling like that. I'm like, man, the fuck up.
Basically,
yeah.
the book, he's just giving game on,
Yeah.
again, how to work smarter,
And
how to hustle
harder.
smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I didn't get a chance to read that book, but it's
it
definitely
was good.
It's a great
I read it
read.
and I listened to it, the audio. I always enjoy 50 Cent's audio.
Is it him?
him.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to it then.
No, the
He's
audio
talking
is
about
really good.
He's talking about Diddy.
Is this the book where he has?
He's talking about
He has a
Young Buck.
discussion where he with what's the main character on Power? Is that in this book? Omari Hardwick.
Yep. The
it's in there as well.
Yeah. Okay, so
which was dope.
Like when he was trying to get him to be the role.
Yeah.
Yep. He had a conversation.
Oh, I gotta re-listen to that specific chapter.
Yeah, I remember that.
Kind of.
And he was like, I just couldn't do it. He was like, what are you talking about? You need to go back in there and make them believe that you can do this because you can.
And
but
he did.
The dope part about that is how he like talks about effectively communicating with him specifically,
right? Because
like he's like, yo, because he tells a mad different stories from all of the people.
Because he's talking about G Unit before,
but yeah,
right?
he's talking about G Unit and being on tour, and he's like, I had to set guidelines out, make it clear. If you fuck up one time, you're off, right? Dude fucks up, fight somebody, whatever, and basically the energy that he gave Dude, he wouldn't have been able to give that same energy to Omari, or he would have never been Ghost.
Right.
You know, so it's dope. It's dope.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Oh, so now let's transcend that into effective communication.
Do it.
How do you feel about? So, obviously, we all have room to grow when it comes to communication. How effective do you feel your communication is in the space of business in your current, like right now, like? Do you feel like you could be better? Do you feel like it's something that you have a grasp on, or
in business? Nah, I can definitely be a lot better, I think.
In what aspect?
Just updating people on like what's like where I am with certain things. I don't know if I'm like answering this properly, but like
I don't think so.
Well, you said in the space of business.
Yeah.
Do I feel like I'm effectively communicating today, or if I can be better? I think in the space of business, yeah. I think that
you've been doing pretty well.
I think that I can do a lot better.
Like even the other day when you were telling us that you were off, and I was like, I thought you were fine.
Oh yeah, I've been
Well,
that goes to my question earlier too, by the way, because that's what we were talking about, like feeling the.
Yeah,
we just summed it up as like kinda we're going in a direction. We don't really have any guide as to where we're going, and it got us feeling a little.
Yeah, see, for me, I was off like just on some personal stuff.
Yeah,
to where my attention wasn't this, as opposed to it being like, you know what I mean, because of the pod or anything like having to do with this. I was just like overwhelmed by life.
But I think like you
oh, go ahead.
I'm saying like even you like acknowledging that and knowing that and being able to kind of tell us that was very big of you.
I appreciate. Remember the thing? I appreciate that.
Yes.
But I also feel like 3 days prior I didn't say much. In the group chat, where for me it was just like the chat went off and I was just like, oh, I gotta respond. What do I say?
Do you feel like you struggle more in a personal space when it comes to like what is the struggle for you when it comes to communicating? Is it feedback that you might get that might turn you off, or like what is it that makes you kind of like put you in that space where it's like, oh, I don't know how to respond or if I should?
I think I've tricked myself to being too humble, to where my confidence level in like business dealings is like really low. And like I feel inadequate amongst my peers.
Well, that was very concise.
Yes, that was.
Yeah.
I definitely can. Do you feel like you deal with that? I don't think I have that issue. I feel like
even when like we're talking about like, oh, like you have any ideas for this or ideas for that, I'm like, I might have 13 ideas, but I'm like, I don't want to. Like, damn, like what they trash.
They could all be trash, but you should probably still get
no,
them
for
out
sure, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
So the answer no scares you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Honestly, the answer yes scares me more.
Because now you have to elaborate.
I have to elaborate and I have to execute.
I was gonna say you have to execute.
Yeah. Is it like an issue of rejection? You failed miserably on that, by the way.
Yeah. I couldn't reach.
Yeah. Is it a situation of rejection or?
No, I think it kind of comes back to the confidence, where I feel like, let's say that I walk into a room or whatever the case is, and they like me and they want me to, want me for the position, whatever position that is, right? They want me for that position, and now I have to actually perform and execute what I said that I could do. What if I can't, or what if I don't?
To their liking.
To their liking.
Wow. Does that trickle down to your personal life?
Yeah, I think so.
What about you? Do you think you deal with that kind of situation? Like, I don't know. I feel like when I go into interviews, like I feel like I run the interview.
I hate interviews. I'm not gonna hold
intentionally.
I probably had 2 interviews ever in my entire life that I ran. Like I left and I was like, yeah, nigga, you did that. Like I don't like interviews really.
I don't like. This is my approach to interviews. I go in there knowing that they're gonna ask me questions. Mm-hmm. I go in there knowing I'm gonna ask at least 4 questions. One of the questions I always ask is, what made you take this job?
Yeah.
What made you stay at this job? What would make me want to stay at this job?
Yeah.
Because again, you're trying to hire someone that's working in partnership and in tandem with you.
Yeah.
I can't, like, obviously you're my leadership, but at the same time, it's like, I want you to know that I'm coming in here and I'm able to stand on 10 toes and do the job that you're offering. Yep. So I try to go in there as confident as possible. And it may not be actual confidence, but it's kind of like a rule of thumb when I go in there. It's like, I'm going to ask these questions. I'm going to ask some off questions like, what do you do for fun? And what?
But that's a skill.
It is. And
I think for me, what helps my confidence within interviews, and I know this podcast isn't about jobs and interviews and shit.
Yeah.
But since we're here.
Yeah.
First of all,
effective communication.
Yeah, it's definitely
true.
Yeah.
Showing up the part, like dressed,
looking the part,
like just looking. Yeah.
Look good, feel good.
Look good, feel good. That's helped me a lot.
Absolutely.
But one of my biggest questions is like the challenges that you've experienced being here.
Yeah, no, that's a very important. Like, that's one of the questions I would also ask. Is like, because again, I'm about to be working here, and it's like when you get older, it's like, nigga, I'm not trying to be here for like 6 months and then go on to the next job. Like, I'm gonna be here for a while, so I want to make sure that I can.
That I need advice, like,
because there's jobs that I didn't like the responses, and they offered me the job and I didn't take it.
Yeah, it's like nope.
So, but yeah,
but the question that you asked Vonnie, you was trying to ask me too.
Oh yeah, I was saying, do you struggle in your personal life with within the space of like effective communication, and do you think it's different for you within the business space than the personal space, or is it like kind of the same?
I definitely think that I struggle with effective communication.
Really? Tell us more.
I will say like the biggest thing with me is that I kind of talk to everybody the same instead of treating everybody like individuals and getting to know them and just, again, their communication style. I deal with people how I expect to be dealt with. At least that's
consistent.
Say that again?
At least it's consistent.
You know what I call that? I call that the drug dealer approach. And I'll tell you why. No, because
you're going to smack everybody to say it don't matter who it is.
No, because like, have you ever met a drug dealer and they don't really have respect for the people they're selling to? Usually people that like sell like crack or some shit. Mm-hmm. They don't really have respect for the person that they're selling. So everyone kind of gets talked to the same. Mm-hmm. And I had a friend like that. I'm like, bro, I don't smoke crack. Stop talking to me like that. Like,
so you're trying to call me a drug dealer? This is crazy.
Not saying you're a drug dealer, but I'm saying the drug dealer approach where you're not like identifying like we're not the same.
Yeah, no, like I said, I've always expected people to deal with me how I deal with them. I'm a straight shooter. Yeah, like I'm a straight shooter. This is how I like to communicate and to be communicated at.
I will challenge that a little bit because I don't think that you would like people to talk to you the way that you necessarily always approach people.
He doesn't.
Nah, you wouldn't stand for it.
Hell no.
I don't agree.
I think that's where we butt heads.
No, that's not.
Okay.
Please, let's not start that one.
But no,
it's definitely not.
Okay.
I think.
Don't get me started, motherfucker.
I think it's very important that we identify that people are not always going to be the same type of receptive, right? The message may be the same for everyone, but it's not going to be received the same by everyone.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 1,000%.
And I think that being able to like identify, and I think it's important because if you're able to actually address people in a different, come back. If you're able to address people in that different light, then you're identifying that you understand that they're different. Like they're not the same.
No more drinking.
No more drinking for me. Because I was crazy. Welcome back.
Yo.
I'm not editing that out either.
Right. So what was that?
Because that nigga was dying.
He said,
I'm hot.
You good?
I'm good.
Give me some water?
I was thinking about what you were saying, but I was like, my ADHD kicked in, and I went on like a whole different like scenario in my head, and I was like acting it out in my head while you were talking. My
I've been
apologies.
there
that's a
many
mental
times.
disorder.
Sometimes it'd be
that
like
might
that.
be a gift.
Because I be over here in a whole nother
Nah, but
lane.
you was like,
You were zoned out.
I I felt it.
yeah.
He said it.
That was
Nah,
an out of
she
body
like, I didn't even
experience.
peep it. She like put me on. I'm like,
Scary. No, because it was scary on this
what the
end.
fuck?
Like, that's on camera. Like,
That's
from
crazy.
kid to camera. So we're also talking about insecurities. Like, I'll start with.
Hold on, I want to pull your cards, okay? Because you're full of shit.
oh, wow.
Nah, because we talked about it the other day. You deal with me how I deal with you because you know that.
Yeah, but I don't deal with you how I deal with him.
No, I know that.
No,
What I'm
he's saying you said, "Oh, I beg to differ that you can deal with
Yeah,
people
no,
how
I-
you deal with them."
Yeah, but we also clash because of that.
Right.
And I think most of the time I'm matching energy because you are
He
who
said,
you are.
"No,
No.
none of it's
Nah,
true.
dead ass.
That's not why
None of
we
it's true.
clash.
They lied."
Bro, how many times have we had to like reset in a meeting because I might be in a mood or you
One
might be
time
in a
for
mood,
us, and then it'd be me and Amara.
but you're always the common denominator here.
Hey, somebody got to be.
That's all I'm saying. So
Already.
That might have been like a little insecurity there.
but there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, one, I know him. I know that he always comes with good intent, goodwill. You know what I mean? But it's like sometimes it's be like, all right,
Yeah,
nigga,
all right,
not
man.
today.
Right. So, all right, nigga.
And I'm sure it's the same way with me, because nigga, I know I be having my days where it's like, here this nigga go.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm essentially saying is that
I agree with
I
what
like the dynamic because, again, I know you're going to be straightforward. You're going to tell me yes, no, what you're thinking, what you're feeling wholeheartedly. Like, you're not going to pussyfoot
Absolutely.
around. You're going to be a straight shooter. I'm game with
I don't like the word pussyfoot. That's
it.
I don't mind.
You with us? That's it.
Yeah, I said I don't mind the word.
But no, I definitely agree. But again, I wouldn't. I feel like we have that dynamic. I definitely feel like if I approached certain other people like that I've done business with, it wouldn't go over as
Yeah,
well.
no, I agree.
You know
I
what I mean?
agree. And that's
it's-
something that I learned.
It sucks because it's like I would like to just go the straight route because it's like, oh, I gotta soften this blow.
Yeah,
especially when
strategically.
you know what sucks when you really want to go at a motherfucker because they're just failing in all aspects of whatever it is that they agreed or whatever the commitment was, and you're like, I don't feel like you deserve to be spoken to nice in this instance.
Yeah, but what about those people where you do change the approach and it's still? We talking about effective communication,
That's facts.
right? Because let's. There have been situations where you'll completely change. I guess it's safe to say that still the approach wouldn't be effective for them, huh?
It depends on that person, I guess, and their ability to effectively communicate.
Okay, so what? All right, we're talking about effective communication. What about
Effective listening,
reception?
comprehension.
Well, yeah,
Or comprehension. Yeah, there we
effective
go.
comprehension.
So how do? Because it can't always be us.
Yeah,
Like it's like how many ways can I tell you this shit?
but you got to think about it. Like they judge a teacher by not how easy each student is to be taught, but also the ones that are hard to, the ones that are.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know what I'm trying to say.
So the worst kid in the class, like being judged by.
Yeah, like
So it doesn't
like-
matter
like-
that
like-
you taught little
so,
Susie
yeah.
how
That's
to do
crazy.
the 1, 2, 3s.
I definitely heard that in a book.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you guys put it like that, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Flexibility.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think it's something that I can get better at, but I think I do a pretty good job, at least attempting it. You know what I mean?
No, I think overall that you, especially with communication, you do a good job until you're
Until it's you.
aggravated and frustrated. No, it could be whoever. When you get fed up.
No, but that, yeah, I would definitely say that. I definitely have a threshold, and it's like I don't really give a fuck anymore. I'm
I think
aggravated.
everybody should have it there.
Yeah.
But that's-
Yeah.
But when I have a fucking
Your threshold is here.
She said here, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
You said once you hit that, He's going on.
Yeah, no, I mean, but it is something that you're working on. At least you're acknowledging it.
He's definitely
Nah,
self-aware.
he's definitely a lot less here than he used to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think if anybody,
He said, I feel like it was nothing before.
because
So
out of all of us, I feel like business wise, and I feel like when we think business, we think of like corporate American stuff. But you
Yeah.
guys have
Yeah.
done business together.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like you would probably have the most experience with
Dealing with him. Yeah.
working with him.
Yeah.
And so I would take your word for that to say that. He,
Oh yeah, nah, definitely.
you know what I'm saying? I think the
He,
thing
he
is
wasn't
like,
a bad communicator then.
yeah,
But
You're just a little harsh.
Shit gets real.
it's one of those,
Like I said, I really do understand that. My biggest issue has always been,
There you go, that's me.
again, just not being able to differentiate, individuality between everybody. It's always been a problem.
But I think that's like your not a complex, but your dad complex,
Honestly, yes.
no, I don't know because
Yeah.
I'm the people's father, man.
He
not
is.
my goddamn daddy. But
don't do that.
I'm the people's
I'm
father.
serious.
Don't
though.
do that.
when you
I'm
say the
serious.
people,
Every time,
People's father is
people's father's crazy.
every time I say
No,
it,
Del really acts like.
no,
like
they know
the
exactly what
dad.
I mean too.
Like,
But just to hear it, it's the insecurity. That's what we talking about, right?
Say I'm bitching. People's father.
You bitching, right?
Yeah, I like.
no, but think of like a really stern father. Like that's Del.
No, he's not because every time he talks to Nicole, he's like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, no. That girl done changed his life.
Yeah, because I don't even know who
Before
that
that,
nigga be on the phone.
you
I'll
think
be
he was
like,
playing
who is
that
this?
with
This is not the nigga
Lanaya?
that was just yelling at me
No.
for 10 minutes.
No.
He be like,
this is a new man.
He like, no, I said, Cody,
All right,
baby.
so
This is that melted his heart. That's what it is.
in what spaces do you feel like you've had the worst communication? Romantic relationships, friendships,
Absolutely
business.
romantic for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely romantic for me because one, I felt like I used a lot of scapegoats of my own trauma to not really kind of like translate what the person was saying to me.
Okay.
They're like, hey, this is what I need. I'm like, well, I didn't grow up that way.
Right.
And it's like,
He said,
motherfucker, you
I don't
grown
know
now.
how. I have a daddy.
No, so I definitely was like kind of like running away from the responsibility of being in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they're looking for affection. I'm like, nigga, I didn't get hugs growing up. You don't need no hugs
Facts.
either.
Facts.
Yeah, so I can't get
You
one.
want to talk about hugs?
Hugs. The fuck? So no, but so it took me being outside of that relationship to realize like, oh shit, I'm fucked up. And I have a lot of trauma. And I didn't know how to express that.
But how long did it take you to acknowledge this trauma?
It took me getting out of that relationship. And I'm not saying like
Do you regret not knowing it while you were in the relationship?
I wouldn't say I regret it. I wish I was better able to identify it. Because it's like being aware of it and identifying it in a way where you can kind of like correct it. I didn't know how to correct it in the relationship because it was happening in real time. And it's like the expectation was happening in real time. And it's like, nigga,
So the expectation was
here's
the
your
problem.
hug, like leave me the fuck alone. But it was because I think looking back at it, it was like, how do I express this in a way that doesn't feel like I'm doing it because that's what you're requesting? But because
Hold on, because that's the craziest shit to me in the entire world.
Yeah.
Because you clearly expressed a concern to give me the opportunity to adjust. I adjust, and now you feel like I'm doing it just because you said something.
I mean, I can understand that viewpoint though, because like
I can't.
no,
It depends on.
Again, it depends on the approach. Like
Right.
if I'm doing it in a way that feels
like, here,
very,
nigga.
yeah, you know
It's
what I'm
like,
saying?
okay.
It's like,
Yeah, but like, what they say, beggars can't be choosers.
No.
I don't
And
think that's.
I don't
Those are
mean
for
that-
poor people. You want a poor relationship? I want a good quality relationship, don't you?
Nah, but what I'm trying to say is like, even with that situation, we just agreed that change doesn't happen overnight, right? And if something, I'm gonna use me because I'm somebody that like, at one point in my life, I used to be extremely like romantic and extra and whatever the case is. And then one of my relationships, and I ain't gonna go into details, but one of them,
What's her name?
what's their name?
No, that's crazy.
I feel like it dragged out way too long. And it ended up where like the last year and a half or so, it was just weird. There was no real like
Connection
or anything, even sleeping together. So I ended up like just naturally kind of
little spoon for you.
Are we all on the side of change doesn't happen overnight?
I agree with that. Absolutely.
I agree with change doesn't happen overnight, but I think that
Wait, why are you saying
not
like
doing
you don't
anything?
I don't.
You think change can happen overnight?
Yes.
Please, please enlighten.
and like,
I think this. If you're saying, if I'm saying to my partner, hey, I need more affection.
Vonnie, you're full of shit. Go ahead.
I think effort can happen overnight. I don't know.
I was just
Change
about to
can.
say effort.
Okay, cool.
To
But what I'm
change.
saying is, in order to show effort, you have to then change what you're already doing. Meaning, because some people say, well, it doesn't happen overnight, which means I'm buying myself time to do it later, next week, maybe sometime. No, nigga, I told you today that I need more affection. I probably needed it since yesterday.
What does affection look like for you, though?
I hold on, because I honestly I do agree with Vonnie. Like I'm putting myself in that position. I do agree that some it's both. It's a happy
game.
Like,
babe, I'm hungry. Got you next week.
No, it would look like
That is not the same. I love the analogy.
But
though.
listen, it would look like this, babe.
I got
hungry.
you next week is crazy.
Or not even babe. I'm
Or
hungry.
babe, I want some
That's
lobster
too simple.
tails. I got you next week.
But yeah, it wouldn't be like that. It would be like, hey, I've been coming home from work for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And you don't really cook like that. It's been takeout. It's been Wendy's. Like, I would like for you to cook more, right? And then let's say she cooks 2 times out of the week. Then you could be like, all right, like.
But she did more than last week.
If she's doing more, then I appreciate the more. But I'm saying when it's like when the more hasn't happened and the excuse is, well, you got to give me a few to like, nah. Because
they just don't want to do it.
If you come to me
right.
and say that you need something, my mind is different. But like I'm forgetful, so I have to do it now. Like I have to act now so that.
Yeah, but do you think that you consistently do said thing, or do you do it for the night?
I'm big on reminders. I'm cool with being reminded, or having to be reminded, or you having to be reminded.
If I gotta say something twice, it's begging.
That's bullshit, and we grew up on that, and that's bullshit. But like, even with our parents, like, if like I shouldn't have to tell you twice, and it's like, nah, you might have to tell me twice.
Right, maybe 3
like,
times.
you might have to remind me. Like,
I feel like there's a lot of validity in what you're saying. I
think it's valid now that he explained it.
I do too, but I don't think it's that linear. I don't think that you're like food is something very different.
Okay, so give a real example.
I'll give a real example. So
Yeah,
as far
go
as
ahead.
I'm gonna use affection, right? Because that can be a bunch of different things.
That's perfect.
Right?
Affection.
So affection. Let's say that we come in the house, hey, and like it's nothing. That's it. And the next day, after I voice my concerns or voice my desire or needs for more affection, I might be greeted at the door with a hug. Maybe we didn't kiss, but we did hug. That's a change, right? That's like it's like almost like an immediate change. It doesn't happen. That doesn't have to happen next week. It doesn't have to happen next month. That's something that we can do immediately, like to show that I'm trying. I heard what you said, and I know that you're expecting more from me, so I'm going to do that more now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, excuse me. So I don't know. I feel like maybe.
I mean, I
get that overall change doesn't happen overnight. Like it's not gonna.
That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like from this day I'm doing nothing. Tomorrow I'm doing everything.
But like Walk said, the effort.
Different.
But something has to change.
Yeah. So as I was saying, if we could merge those two,
like
I think
cleanliness.
it's a happy medium.
Yeah.
Like,
so I can get with that, but also I feel like if someone's struggling internally with something like affection. Like, I don't think they're probably thinking like that because, again, you know what you're looking to receive as a person.
I'm that person.
But then at the end of the day, you don't think that even if you're not an affectionate person, you don't think it's that important.
Right.
You don't feel like you're gonna lose me because you're not giving me affection. At the end of the day.
A lot of times.
I mean, no, I don't think that people think.
I don't think I think again.
So if you thought that you were gonna lose somebody for not giving them affection, are you gonna show them affection? Yes or no?
Here's the thing. What are you looking for in affection? Because when you're saying affection, it's such a macro.
Any type of affection.
Because the thing is, it's like when people call that out, it's like Is sex affectionate? There's so many other things that are a part of affection that you're not acknowledging.
Sex is a part of affection, though.
Agreed. So if we're having sex and you're saying, but you're still complaining about lack of affection, now you got to clarify to me.
Be more specific.
Okay, but I'm saying, if you're already having sex, right? Yeah. Because we're not stupid.
But then you're saying I need more affection. And then you're saying I need
affection. Obviously, the sex is not the affection.
I don't like the word obvious there.
Right, it's not obvious. And that's the part where we talk about effective communication.
And
Now, with that being said, what happens when there's a situation where somebody's expressing like, I need more affection. I want to be, let's say, smothered and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's not how
how I move.
That's fine. I think that there has to be compromise within a relationship. So I get that you don't enjoy that, but you have to respect or love and respect me enough to know that I do. And at some point you have to meet me somewhere, right?
Okay. No, I agree with you because I think that the happy medium, but oftentimes, at least from my experience, I feel like when there's an expectation, like I need you to kind of like meet that expectation or get on. Like, what do you guys?
Shit off the pot.
So to address that, all right. If I'm in this space where you're asking, and I'll use you said I like to be smothered.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, right? Because there's so many ways that you can approach that. Do you want me to just hug up on you all day? Mm-hmm. It's not really who I am as a person, but I'll figure it out. Which just goes back to my earlier point. Now I'm doing something that I'm doing that's unnatural to me because again, I want to be able to give you this
and be what you
but
want,
I want it to be coming from a
genuine
real place. I don't want it. I don't want to be doing it like, hey, clean the bathroom, and I'm only doing it because you told me to, versus me knowing that it's a responsibility of mine.
See, that's where I feel like
still clean the bathroom.
That's why I feel like
shut the fuck up.
On both ends, it teeters and totters because like I really feel like tell me exactly what you want so I can do exactly that. That's how I am.
Okay.
Like I don't want to misconstrue what you're saying. Like if you want us to not talk because you're just what's the word I'm looking for? Overstimulated.
Yep.
If I come to you and say, hey, you good? Don't say I'm fine. It's nothing.
No, I don't think that's fair.
First of all, no, because you're not fine and it is something.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not fine. I'm fine and it's not something for you.
Doesn't matter.
That matters to me.
Well, clearly there's a bigger reason why.
Yeah, what I'm saying is this, right? So like if I'm picking up on your energy, right now I am subjected to your energy.
That's fair.
Right, but what if you've created a space where they don't feel comfortable enough to share with you because of how you...
Now you're lying.
That's never fair because I think it's important for you to be able to like... You have to give your partner the benefit of the doubt. I don't think that I've created an unfair space. I can't say that, right? But I don't think that I've created an unfair space for my partner to say something like,
I know for a fact that I have done that.
But what I'm saying is this, right? Look, nothing is wrong. I'm fine. Or, honestly, I'm just overstimulated right now. I need a moment. What is going to breed more productivity in that moment? You saying nothing, I'm fine. Me knowing it's bullshit, and now we're going at it because you're lying.
I think that's unfair because you're expecting the person in that moment to be able to communicate that they're feeling when they may not be able to communicate that because they don't actually know. You never woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You have no idea why you feel that way, and someone asks you, "Are you good?" I'm saying, "Yeah," because you actually want an answer, and I don't have an answer for you, and that's more annoying. Trying to figure out.
Recently, I've learned that sometimes because we've reached a certain, let's say, place of communication in our lives, we expect other people to be able to communicate the same exact way.
Right.
We've talked about this. I don't think that that's always fair.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Especially because some people do struggle. And it's something that I have to try to be more mindful of myself because...
Likewise.
Man, that's part of the disconnects for me.
And I think for you, you're a very effective communicator, especially when it comes to what you're looking to receive. And you actually, from the conversation that we're having right now, it seems like you're almost like projecting an expectation on someone that they may not be able to expel to you.
I've always done that in most relationships.
That's not healthy.
No, I know, of course. What? No, because sometimes it comes off like what? Well, no, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying sometimes
he said it comes unhealthy.
Off. It is unhealthy.
Because
it is.
Sometimes
we talked about
sometimes
this too,
it can come off condescending because I'm expecting you to know Like what? Like I'm expecting you to. For me, it's common sense. If something's wrong with you, say it's wrong. Say something's wrong with you.
And I've been you, and I've put my ex in a space where I say something like, "It's common sense." So now I'm attacking your common sense.
But listen, that's where we start talking about creating that unsafe space.
Correct.
And we do it
for sure.
unintentionally.
Right.
So
but is it safe to say that sometimes it is common sense?
No, it's definitely
it's emotional
listen,
intelligence.
It's definitely common sense.
But everybody wants
it's not
to.
common
Common sense
sense
is not that common,
intelligence.
right? We
It's
know
not
that.
common
It's not
sense
common.
though.
Common
You don't
sense
grow
isn't-
up knowing your emotions.
Correct.
No.
Well,
all the
listen.
Yeah.
Because let's be fair, right? Vonnie's not wrong because we're adults and we expect that everybody could effectively communicate what they're going through. Now, that versus reality is obviously two totally different things.
Right.
Put that on a t-shirt.
With understanding that we're all grown-ass adults,
Right.
everybody in this room is over 30, but
Kind of expecting.
like we're expecting
Don't
for
because y'all old and shit.
we're expecting for people to again be able to effectively communicate.
Right.
But again,
But
Life is life.
Your effective communication might be different from somebody else's.
agreed, which
Effective,
is why.
but effective isn't.
And levels though as well. Matter.
Effective is. I
But
think,
it depends on what we're talking about. So
key
there's
word-
different levels of communication. There's emotional communication. There's physical communication. There's daily communication.
right.
You know, so
but I feel
it depends on what we're talking about.
Right, but effective is
Ooh, in your face.
not at all. Effective is just that. No matter what kind of communication it is, it's effective.
Yep.
Whether that's effective emotional, effective relational,
That's
effective
true.
this, effective that.
All of
It's-
them. all of them need a
Everybody
skill.
wants to claim and hold on and cling to emotional intelligence. I'm emotionally intelligent until it's time
But
to be
they're
emotionally
not.
intelligent. Right. But don't say that you are, and then if I hold you to it, now it's a problem because you don't
That's
know how to, you don't know how to
Ooh,
effectively
in your
communicate.
face.
That's no. He's speaking facts.
just
Because a
saying,
lot of people
like-
think that they're emotionally intelligent
until it's time to communicate.
and they're just street smart. It's like, sweetie, we're not selling drugs on the corner. We're talking about our
I mean,
feelings.
but I don't think that's fair either because emotions are emotions, and sometimes they knock
but
us.
this is why emotional and intelligence sometimes can be an oxymoron,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because intelligence, right, like in the military,
Yeah.
they base intelligence off of if you have this information already, you learn something new, you don't cling to this old information. You now move to what's new,
yeah.
right? In relationships or with emotions, people don't do that. Well, I feel like this still. Wait a minute. I'm telling you this is what it is.
This is what it.
But you want to cling to what you feel.
Well,
that's not emotional intelligence.
But I also think that on
But it
the
has to be
opposite
both-sided.
side, the receiving side, and we talked about this last week. Validation does so much within those conversations.
Facts.
So even real time, I've gone through this within the last like month or so, where it's like, yo, you know, sometimes I just want you to say that you understand where I'm coming from. I don't have to be right. I be wrong.
There was something on,
Really?
on social
Just-
media that said you don't meet emotion with logic. You meet emotion with emotion.
Yep. I like
How
that.
does that work?
So if somebody's telling you how they feel, you
Being
don't
compassionate,
say, "Oh, well,
empathetic.
That's not how it was." So
Sympathetic.
just basically shut the fuck up. So it's like
That-
no.
see,
I
I'm
mean,
never sympathetic.
I'm leaning with Walk a little bit only because I get meeting emotion with emotion, but where does that become effective? Where
Let's use
can we
last
now
week, though.
leave that?
Let's use last week because with that whole conversation Friday, at least for me, if I received more like understanding and compassion and whatever from Amara, I don't think that I would have been as upset as I was.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that it's safe to say that she
Vice
probably would
versa.
have felt the same way.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
You know, and I think that again, in those situations and in my own personal situations, again, just that validation. You know what? Like when you paint it like that, I could definitely understand and see why you might have felt that way. However, this is my train of thought. This is what I went through.
I think however gets us into a lot of trouble.
Yeah. However, got to
I
get
don't
eliminated.
I understand, but I think we all know
that's where
that
the logic comes back in.
Exactly, and that's the bottom line. So again, lead with what'd you say, emotion, but then once we start to shift in now, okay, I felt with you. I mean, I sat there, I felt those emotions with you. I shared my emotions with you.
Yeah.
Logic,
Right.
Right.
Let's talk about facts now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna work. But I feel you.
You're toxic.
You don't think that?
No, I'm saying I'm saying that now it's going to subside enough to where we're like, oh, okay, and then the logic and now we come back up.
I know again firsthand in my own relationship, like having those moments where we're both able to say, I get it, I understand, then allows for Saja to be a lot more receptive and like, okay, I could see exactly what you were saying logically now because I acknowledge the emotional side.
All right, so what do you say in a situation where, and this is to the room, in a situation where, let's say you communicate with your partner.
Yep.
Hey, I think this would be more beneficial for you if you did this way instead of that way. And then they just don't hear you. And then their friend or their whomever says, hey, I think you should do this way, this thing, and this way instead of that way, and it'll be beneficial for you. And they listen to it.
Yeah, but what is
the issue with
effective? So what is the question now? Or the correlation?
Because of effective communication or effective comprehension.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you say the same thing as said friend or said whoever, and now they take the information from that person as opposed to.
I feel like you probably feel like you deal with that a lot even within our group.
Oh yeah,
it's like, well, Walk
I
just said the same thing Walk said. Oh, now you hear it.
It is frustrating, but I mean, effective communication. Like sometimes a message coming from.
But also, sometimes in a relationship, the person doesn't trust your opinion, and that's dangerous.
So what happens? So okay,
that's super valid.
And I
talk
understand
about this
that.
a lot.
So what happens when your opinion lines up with the ones that you do trust?
In their head, you're untrustworthy. So it doesn't matter what you say. It could be 98%
I like that.
valid.
I like that so much because we talked about this too, where it's like men sometimes we got to understand that sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, most of the time. Nah, seriously, sometimes we do things like cheat, lie, deceive, manipulate all of these things. So when you're exhibiting these types of behaviors, and then what ends up happening is you ruin again that trust, and for them to be able to let you lead them blind, it's just not.
So then don't be blind.
But
let me lead you with your eyes open. Then.
But sometimes it's not even deceit. It could just be that they just don't like.
But that's that approach is like one of those things where it's like use your common sense without saying it. It's literally like semantics.
But what I'm saying, right? So again, if every single one of your friends is only saying what I said to you 3 months ago, at some point I have to buy back some trust points.
Yeah, but you can't do that if you're.
I don't think that's fair because it's like if you saying something right is right, but the reason why she doesn't trust you is for something totally different. Those two things don't align. I don't trust you because you're a lying, cheating slut,
right?
Not because not
facts,
because you're right.
And that's what I was trying to get at. Like, if you're still exhibiting those same behaviors, which are creating that uncertainty, you can say whatever you want. Yeah. You could,
and it's like if you're still
give her the numbers to the lottery and tell her this is gonna hit. This is proof. Look, and she still ain't.
And she's like, I ain't listen to his lying ass.
And that's something I had to learn too, where it's like, yo, why is my leadership being questioned? Well, because again, clearly I've done things that,
understandably so,
you can't trust yourself.
But at what point? Like how many times do I have to prove myself, reprove myself, and show you again and again and again that I am worth trusting again, that I am not going to lead you astray before you actually listen, because the information I'm giving you has proven to be helpful.
I like this question.
I agree.
That's a complicated question.
Here's how I would answer that question. That question has to come with all other misbehaviors being no longer evident. Right.
Correct.
But who's gauging that? How do you, because let's be real, with these situations, oftentimes women were under the impression that we were awesome, great, not doing anything, right? They trusted and believed that we were saints.
That's bullshit too.
So,
go ahead.
Because of the facade.
facade, all of everything.
No.
Delusional.
No.
Let's be real.
No.
Facade, delusion,
and no.
all of it.
Hell no. Because a lot of times we
So you
enter.
came in and you told her that she was a cheater.
A lot of times we enter shit mad honest about where we are in our lives, and they turn up.
Yeah, but I think that let's be real. We're not talking about flings. We're talking about relationships.
I'm talking about what I'm talking about. I'm saying a lot of times. Listen, I'm not ready.
Camera.
I'm not.
Do your job.
Look,
Right.
I'm not ready. This is where I'm at in my life. Honestly, a lot of my relationships have fallen because I had this issue, that issue, X, Y, and Z. A lot of times we effectively
niggas don't do that
that's
much. That's cap.
shit.
That's cap. I'm calling cap right now.
On who?
On you, nigga.
On who? Couldn't be.
Bro.
Then who?
Right.
No, you nigga, you know.
So I'm like somewhat with you.
Bro,
I really don't believe.
What I'm saying is a lot of times people they lose trust for you in areas that you've already told them this is a problem.
But peep, here's what happens, and we have to be real. We've had this conversation
So
too.
because you told me that you're a cheater.
Hold on, no, because that's
why
not
you gotta
it.
keep going back to it?
Because let's get back to it.
But listen, if that's the conversation, hey, I'm a cheater, I don't want nothing serious, but if you still willing to whatever, okay, cool. But oftentimes the conversation goes like, hey, yeah, I don't want nothing serious. I'm still trying to figure things out. You know, niggas love that one. Still trying to figure myself out, whatever the case is.
You.
But hold on,
I'm with you. Yeah. I'm following.
Right?
I'm following.
Because then that turns into niggas bullshitting. We lead people on, even if it's not directly saying, hey, we're exclusive or whatever. We'll go with whatever she's running with. We'll do the boyfriend, girlfriend things. We'll do everything but say we're in a relationship and committed to you. That's crazy.
That is crazy. But
and that's not effective communication. Let's be real.
No, but the beginning was.
Yeah, but bro, at some point,
I don't like this
change.
nigga at all.
Every day you see her.
I hear what you're saying, but it's like, oh, I said this out loud, but I'm doing all of the other things that make you confuse you.
Right.
I enjoy our time together, but I also know that I'm not ready to be committed.
But let's be
But
real.
you're here every day.
Let me hop on the mic real quick. Mr. Vaughn, you just talked about how common sense should be, a
Get
common
this nigga,
thing.
please.
Right?
Try.
As grown-ass men, common sense tells you when you engage into a situation, first of all, let's be real. If you don't want nothing serious, and we know what
At our 30s, we know what the fuck serious looks like.
And then you're doing dates. You spending the night.
Every night.
I'm having sex with you 6 times a week. 2 times a day. What?
Looking through your phone, doing weird shit that has nothing.
Sending Facebook reels to you, making you laugh.
I thought you were a godly man.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
I am.
He's a man of God.
I'm a man of God.
But you're full of shit right now.
No, well, a part of being a man of God is also knowing that you have flaws and need.
Nah, but you can't not believe
can't
that
bullshit
because you verbalize something
One
which
time.
keeps you outside of a contract.
No, I
obligation
wish
or agreement.
niggas would be a lot more honest on this podcast right now.
Let's start with you.
More times than not.
Let him know.
More times than not, we communicated that more than once.
That's facts. But
The moment that we got so what are we?
At that point, though, we have to make a choice to be the fuck up out of there because we know
at that point, we then, because sometimes we like what's going on, right? So at that point,
But you know that you want something more.
But are you not just as wrong as her?
Absolutely, that's not the point.
How is that not the point?
That's the whole point, bro.
Effective communication.
Bro, that's bullshit.
Yeah, but I can't effectively communicate and
I don't like the fact that
opposite.
you're effectively only communicating and you're putting it in a verbal sense because you're verbally saying something, but you're communicating emotionally, physically, a whole nother thing. So it's like when we're saying effective communication, you only verbalize it. I don't want that for real. As you're laying up in bed with her and watching fucking Bad Girls Club.
Let me ask you a question. When she wants to fuck every day, and I come home and I do what I do, That's on me now because I'm over there every day.
Yes.
No, why that's on you?
I want to
Well,
too.
that's on you.
But
Hold
you're
on, hold on, hold
also
on.
giving false.
If she
it's the equivalent
accepted,
to
no,
but
if she
it's the
accepted,
equivalent to.
So it's her fault.
Hold on, listen.
That's crazy.
what is her fault?
It's the equivalent to like sex without protection and then having a baby, like,
And then blaming the girl,
and then
which
blaming
happens
her.
all the time.
Like, no, we both knew what the fuck was gonna happen. Common sense.
And you the one.
That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm saying.
He said I wrapped it up.
No, I didn't. But
I did. I told you, raw dogs.
Nasty work.
I did.
Raw dogs.
Nasty work. Cut the show.
Hell no. But what I'm saying is, again, I'm not saying that is right. We're not arguing what is morally correct.
We're arguing what's
saying whether
effective.
or
We're
not,
arguing effective.
whether or not you laid out exactly what you were there for, exactly what your intentions were, and if that person deemed that okay for them at that time.
So can you tell me how the
Things
conversation
change.
went?
So let me just probably
We talked about
wait a
things
minute.
changing,
And
though,
if
and
things,
being
wait, hold
able
on.
to-
Yes, and you're right. And if things change, whose job is it now to effectively communicate
Can you
when
tell
things
me
have
what?
changed?
Can you tell
Both
me what you
parties.
said?
both parties.
Wait a minute.
Especially because
If
we're
they
both.
have
If you're indulging in the new shit, it's
I
your
don't know.
job.
I'm able to realize like, okay, this is kind of getting a lot more serious than I
Bro,
anticipated
there's
for it to
no
be.
way that you're sitting there right now and believe the shit you're saying.
Bonnie
Can
be
you tell me
full
what
of
you-
it.
Can you tell me
I'm
what you
not.
said?
What I'm saying is this, guys.
I'm
Say it.
listening.
A lot of times, right? So when you effectively communicate in the beginning, everybody agrees to the terms. You are now acting in those terms. This is what we agreed on. We can hang out. We can do whatever, right? If those emotions become more than whatever, another conversation is to
You're
be
having
had.
sex with somebody.
Another conversation. Some
I agree with
people
that.
are-
Yeah, I'm with you.
Some
Raw
people
dog
are,
sex.
but some people are savages. Let's just be
Skin
honest.
to skin.
I understand, but what I'm saying is this.
I understand.
I do. I get it. But I'm saying, like, again, communication. It's not just about, and I get your point when
You're
you're saying,
eating her child's fruit snacks.
What you're saying-
The Scooby-Doo joints.
That's what.
I get what you're saying, where you're like, your actions are communicating something else. I understand that part.
So how does that conversation goes when she says, "What are we?"
What we agreed on.
That's what you say.
Why not?
So okay, let me. So let me
you don't reiterate like, "Hey,
No. Yeah.
is it okay for you to move forward
Yeah.
No.
right.
Yes.
with this because I don't want anything."
absolutely.
So I have.
let me just challenge
Have
that
you-
question.
have
How
you
about if
done
you're on
that?
the opposite end of that?
Listen, because I've been exactly where he's at, right?
I'm not even there, by the way, guys.
Yeah, we're talking old shit. Clearly,
Super old.
I think we both reference our situations a lot. We're different people.
15 years.
5 years, maybe.
This man's not even
5 years, maybe. This
No,
guy's crazy.
definitely 15.
Definitely 15.
How old are you, Vonnie?
I'm 32.
Yeah.
I was outside early. So, but go ahead.
I agree with Vonnie to an extent because I've been there. But what I'm saying is, being in those shoes, I know firsthand that, remember we talk about red flags?
Yes.
There's a lot of red flags that pop up, and again, because we like the situation, we like the
Absolutely.
benefits, we
Absolutely.
like the whatever,
Yes.
like we definitely stay
Yes.
when we know,
Yes.
oh, this is all bad.
Yes. And that goes
hold on,
both
but
ways, right?
pause, because again, let's be real. We've done the phone calls. Yo, bro, shorty's open. She's open, right? Because we know what the fuck is going on. We know what we're doing, right? And then it ends up being a situation where when it hits the fan and she's expecting a lot more, she's head over heels, she's in the Lululand, all of these things. Now all of a sudden we're confused. Oh, I don't know what happened. I said.
Here's my. All right, so let me challenge that notion because I hear exactly what you guys are saying. Why is it only the woman that's so delusional and has to be the one that's asking?
So that's what the point that I'm trying to make is that, again, just like we can sit here and say, y'all are delusional, when we know damn well, because we done played this fucking part of this movie over and over and over again, it's on repeat, we know what's coming. At this point, again, being this old at least, we're
This old now, today, yeah.
obviously now, but that's what we're
Yeah.
talking about. We're talking about
Yeah.
right now, today.
Yeah.
We're not talking about what was whatever.
Right.
Now, today, if we can't realize, this situation is all bad.
Oh,
But
yeah,
it's-
for sure.
what I'm saying, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's like we're putting it on the woman that now, because of all these extra things that happen, that she's the one that caught feelings and she's the one that's going to want more. Why is it only the woman that's being put in this position?
Well, no. Sometimes it's that.
I like that. I love that.
Sometimes it's not that she individually by herself caught feelings. there were times where I caught feelings as well, but I stuck to what I said in the beginning.
But that's delusion right
But
there.
that's my point.
That is
So,
fucking nuts.
My point is,
I've been there too. That's crazy.
What's going on?
That's denial.
What's
my point is like one.
I know for a fact, right? I said to you in the beginning, like, I'm not there where I think that I can be committed.
So if she had sex with somebody else,
I would be upset.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So you're telling me
I just don't get it.
you fucked them.
Time out, guys.
No.
I said that I would be upset. I don't think that I'm entitled to that.
But you had that is just the whole everything. Even down to being with somebody or dealing with somebody, fucking around with somebody, flinging it, sneaky link, whatever you want to call it, whatever the terms are.
Yeah.
Right. And then to say that you don't want anything serious and you don't want all of this and all of that,
Yep.
but then to also catch feelings.
to the point where you actually feel a way about them honoring the agreement.
That's the part that we're not talking, and that's why I wanted to
crazy.
talk about it, because again, that's nuts.
That's nuts to me.
Crazy,
And that was my
it's not
point.
effective for nobody.
And it's like, and you're saying that's effective communication. That's the point I wanted to get, because we're so focused on, the woman's catching feelings.
But let me ask
blah,
you,
blah,
because I
blah,
was
blah.
asking this question.
Okay.
Out of the situations that you've experienced throughout the 32 years of life,
Yep.
has that situation ever worked out effectively for you? Ever?
Absolutely not.
So what are you talking about?
So how is that effective communication when it doesn't work ever in your whole life?
Because communication is a one-way street. It's two ways.
But it's also not effective.
what just happened? Because we just had a whole conversation. Do you remember it? 20 minutes ago.
Sure. About what?
Effective communication.
Yes.
And you said
It's not a-
it's how the person is receiving it, right?
I said it's about how the person conveys and how the other person receives.
Right. So
Correct.
if it's not working, then that would mean that you have to change how you're communicating, correct?
Correct. What I'm saying is that they also have to communicate. It's not just for my job to communicate to them. It's also their job.
But you're the one that
job
doesn't want the relationship.
to communicate.
They
to me.
communicated.
But
Where
you
are
also
we?
just said this whole
But
intelligence.
you also just said
this intelligence thing, right? Where you
Correct.
said like intelligence changes.
Yeah,
Like, you're
yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to-
Yeah.
So again, when we're talking about,
I just gave you some new
Emotional-
information. I'm feeling you, nigga.
Emotional intelligence. Well, that's when you say, okay, this is how I feel. Where are we going from here? And a lot of times, more times than not, they
Nope.
be game.
No,
Yeah, but
no,
that-
they're not game though.
They're not
no,
game.
listen, no, 'cause
I'm not.
That's
I'm
cap.
not.
That's
No,
cap.
hold on. I'm
They
not
be
a-
game.
I'm not.
They
a,
be
hold
game,
on, hold on,
but they're
hold on.
not in
hold
the
on.
game
Listen,
that you think that
first
they
of
are.
all, I'm not a mind
They
reader.
think they're gonna change your
I'm
mind.
not a mind
That's
reader.
fair.
But you've
I'm
been
not
through
going
this
to
before.
pretend to know how you feel or what you want to X,
But
Y,
you
Z.
know.
Hold on. I'm
But
basing,
you know.
Wait a minute. But I'm only held responsible to what you communicated to me.
I don't like it.
Nah, that's not true. But go ahead.
That's not how is that not true?
You just said
because
something different
again,
just
bro,
20 minutes ago.
I'm gonna tell you how that's not true, because again, niggas aren't dumb, right? We know
Common sense.
common sense, facts.
And women ain't either.
I know that, but
We're a little slow.
So why do they
So-
just to all
no.
the red flags?
Women are a little slow.
well, women, we know that. First of all, let's be real. Dick whipped is a thing.
So was pussy whipped.
So right,
Niggas
I agree
die,
with you.
Niggas die about it.
Okay.
I said that though.
More niggas die about
Shout
it.
out
than
to
they-
y'all.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
You're right about that.
However, somehow, with all this emotional intelligence is going around for everybody,
Well, I think that there's a lack of emotional intelligence on both
On
sides.
both sides.
I'm not
within that
denying
situation.
I'm not denying
and that's literally like.
So today, not saying that you're gonna be in that
This isn't for you.
situation.
This is
It's
general.
just- in general,
I'm gonna.
would you approach the situation the same?
No.
Why?
Okay.
So why are you going so hard for this argument?
Yeah, why?
He just want to be devil's advocate,
Partially, and the other part
Bonnie
is,
advocate.
and the other part of no, the
Bonnie
other part of
advocate,
it is
that's
because
crazy.
I really do feel like there has been a lapse in communication in that aspect of life. Like I think
On
even,
women though, not.
Yes.
So with everything we just said, you don't think that weight is heavily like it's distributed?
I
on
think
both
a lot of
sides
time some niggas is gonna lie to get what they want.
A lot of
That's
niggas.
that yeah.
Most
that,
niggas.
So I'm not talking
But
about those
let's
guys.
not-
I'm
niggas
talking
and
about the
women,
niggas who
because-
go into things with just open about this is what I'm doing. This is what this is
Yeah,
where I
but
am,
bro,
and it does not matter. A lot of women feel like
You know
I'm
that's
gonna change him.
manipulation, right?
Yes, I understand
Because
that.
we come in with this. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. We didn't live the little life.
a
Niggas
a
then.
little one.
What was the word you kept using? Facade.
Yeah.
Niggas then came in like, yo, I'm so real, I'm so honest. This is where I'm at, da 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 da, and still play the game.
That's a fact.
and I'm sure you played that same game at some point. Not saying
Yeah.
So,
Bro, even to hear him say that he again caught feelings, it's a responsibility of her to, all of that's a part of the game. That's a part that, if that's not the game itself, to say, well, I told you, but look,
because I feel like
Because you want the blame to be off you. You don't want to be that guy.
you not taking responsibility.
I feel like you're trumping communication with human emotion, and it's like, it's okay to have caught those feelings because it's normal when you're around someone every day, but you have opened up this, which I always say, Pandora's box, where you're allowing too much affection or whatever the case may be, too much of it to be present for you not to catch feelings. And then you're saying, well, I communicated something different. You may have said something different, but you're not communicating.
Actions, right. And as we said, communication is not just verbal.
There's
so many different aspects.
That's a fact. I agree with that.
That needs to be.
I'm just thinking more. That's hard.
Shout out to Amara.
Yeah.
I said that. Don't give that credit to Amara. You better watch that game.
What happened?
I thought she said that communication ain't verbal.
No, I said communication is more
Bro,
than
we
just
already
verbal.
gave you your credit on like 3 podcasts
You
ago.
can give me his credit.
I
Nigga said 3
I
podcasts
specifically
ago.
said you were smart, my nigga. Like, that's
First
why I
off,
like
3
you.
podcasts ago, I wasn't even on the
He's
podcast.
like, let it go. Like, let it just
But
happen.
no, I mean, seriously, like, I feel like your approach to effective communication comes off very manipulative in a sense, because I feel like it's effective for you.
I think that's a natural thing, though. I feel like I kind of
Nobody
fall
wants to be the bad guy.
victim to.
No, I don't mind being a bad guy.
I feel like if you're coming and approaching it in a censor, or you're being objective, I
You
think
being
that
a people
all
pleaser and
parties
being
involved.
okay with being
I mean,
a
I
bad
get what
guy
you're saying. When
to
you're
please.
going in and you're like, "Yo, this is kind of, I like the fact that you agreed to this because it's easier for me." Cool, but at the same time, it's like when you get to that threshold where it's like, "All right, we already broke this.
This is getting real.
It's getting real."
Yeah, it's
like,
Yeah.
it's like what makes you uncomfortable? I mean, I get it. You're still in a mental space where you're like, "I'm not ready."
That's a whole nother conversation. Yeah.
But it's
I don't
like
know what you're about to ask.
But honestly, once somebody tells you they're not ready, they're
No,
never
but
gonna
I'm
be ready.
saying-
once you hear I'm not ready,
when you
go
say
the
I'm
fuck
not
on.
ready and you're
That's the best
verbalizing
thing.
that, but then you're doing all the things that ready
That
motherfuckers
already
do,
besides putting a
I'm
title on.
confused.
Yeah.
It's like,
Getting there, living
so
there.
what is not
Nigga
ready?
brought his P5 there and
You
everything.
feel what I'm saying?
not
It's like,
ready.
I guess,
P4.
P4.
Broke niggas know what's up.
I don't, I got my P5. But
My
no,
son
it's
got
just
one.
like, I guess the confusion for me is like, one, I feel like that's one, being communicated. Because if you're in my house every day and you're doing all the things that people that are in relationships do,
Yeah.
and you're like, but no, I told you I'm not ready. It's like, what
I'm
are we
sorry.
doing here?
Listen, I agree with you. It's sick.
It's sick.
I'm not.
Yep.
That's partially why I'm not there anymore today. But what I'm saying is, in the past, I still did feel like a lot of times the communication was there in the beginning.
No, and I understand
And
that you felt that at the time.
But remember, we just talked about this too. Feelings are misleading sometimes.
No, for sure. I get that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, despite feelings, we had a conversation. This conversation sounded a lot like this. Hey, everything's great. I'm having fun, but I'm not ready for a serious relationship. At that point, it is up to both parties to decide if they want to part ways or continue the fun that they're having. If they continue,
Nobody's having fun anymore.
If they continue, wait a minute.
Facts.
If they continue, it is on both parties that they continued, not the guy for not leaving, though she wanted more, and not just her
That sounds
for
like-
knowing that she wanted more and not leaving. No, we can't put standards on
sounds
one
like
side and
scapegoating.
not on the other. The double standards is
But
beyond me.
I
That's
think
not
that instead of pointing the finger, there needs to be a lot more internal. Searching going on,
I agree, but I'm saying it's on both parties completely.
Right,
Not
but
one more than the other. That's all
what
I'm
I'm saying though is, I know, 1,000% as far
Yeah.
as one or the other. But again, when you lack self-awareness to know, like, I'm full of shit.
Nah, sometimes you know.
A lot of times, you know.
But if you're getting what you wanted out of the deal that was agreed upon, it's not about a lack of self-awareness. Let's just be honest.
It is because again, we know
Why?
that.
Why you
listen.
saying that?
Mark is disappointed.
We're acting like we don't.
I'll tell you.
We
why I'm
just
taking my head in
don't
the
know. Like, all right, for example, we know that women use sex to get to love, right? And we know men use sex to get to, men use love to get to sex.
Yeah.
Right? So again, we know that they're gonna bullshit and say whatever, right? To hopefully win you over. That's their goal.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, Amara? When you guys agree to sign up for these situations,
Just
No,
lie.
that's
you
it.
have it in your
You
head
think
that
she's gonna change your mind?
this
Lying like
nigga,
shit the whole
I'm
time.
the one. He need to know.
Yeah.
He's
right?
gonna know that he needs this pussy. That's
And
how it
Just
is.
lying like shit the whole time.
We'll
Yep.
say,
Yeah.
hey, I don't want this and that, but then love bomb the fuck out of you.
Right.
Telling the truth, but then doing some wild shit. So women lie to get you there, and guys are gonna.
Women lie, men lie.
So let's just play a scenario real quick.
Sure.
I just want to see how you feel about this. You've communicated how you feel.
Yeah.
And you're getting everything that you wanted is working out in your favor, to your knowledge.
Yeah.
And then you find out that she was also keeping her side of the bargain, and she was outside acting a damn fool, unbeknownst to you. How do you respond to that?
My chest.
Because again, you're getting everything
feel
you
it in my
wanted
chest.
based on your awareness.
Yeah.
Now you're aware of her doing something that you don't necessarily like, but it doesn't take away from your initial agreement.
Let's be real too.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be hurt. What you mean?
Do you stay? Do you go? But why?
Oh, I'm out of there.
I'm gonna cuss her out.
Why
would
you out of there?
But I'm confused. Why are you leaving when everything's
Y'all not
working
together.
within the guidelines that you agreed upon? Everything's been communicated just the way that you agreed upon.
So we're under the impression that I was also dibbling and dabbling, right?
Maybe.
Sure, I'm sure you were.
Well, I don't think that's a fair question because that's a whole nother conversation.
'Cause that
within
wasn't a
itself.
part of my scenario
Are we
in the beginning.
exclusively?
Yeah,
deal-
are we
like fucking
exclusively-
around? Or are
How
we
can you be
Even that sounds
exclusive? That doesn't make no
crazy.
sense.
I know. Trust me.
Like,
I
what are we
understand. It
talking
sounds
about?
crazy.
But
let's be
I
real.
want everyone here to act like they know
Real
exactly
shit.
what we're
Real
talking
shit.
about. Because
Yes,
a
I
lot
know
of times some
but
nigga
that
was
is-
busting you down, or you was busting some girl
And you was
down,
loyal to
and,
him.
and you was loyal to them, knowing that you did not have a title. So let's not act like what are we talking about? And you
Yeah,
know
but
exactly
again,
what we're talking about.
I'm talking about what you agreed
Amara's
upon,
full of shit, too.
not what you
How?
actually did. If you
Said
wanted to
name
be,
'em. I
if
want
you
them to call
decided,
them out.
I don't know.
because was being exclusive part of the guidelines? I would imagine not, because you said I'm not ready. I don't want that.
Yeah,
ready for a
but
commitment.
like that's
They're talking about
so.
non-verbal
Today
communication.
we're having more conversations where it's like, listen, if motherfuckers ain't say motherfuckers, then motherfuckers. All right.
Where that cup at? Put it
I know
away.
exactly.
right.
You got what I was saying. Though.
I know
like,
that what you say.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but put that cup away.
Right.
Talk about him. I'm over here like.
No, because I feel like niggas is actually like bullshitting right now. It's like it's okay to like this nigga.
I feel like we're being the most honest.
No, I feel like you're being honest, but at the same, it's like I don't feel. There's no way that you feel like you're effectively doing something.
Honestly,
you may be doing it,
If
but
this
there's
happened to males
What I'm
on the
saying.
other side of the spectrum, they would hate it.
They
talking about?
do
Which
hate
part?
it, and it's happening a lot more than we know.
facts.
and
Now.
that's what
Now.
I'm saying.
Women are
But now
actually
women are
leaving.
I
gold
don't
diggers or
understand why you're
whores, all these other
leaving
names.
if you're still getting everything that you want. That's my
Well, that's
confusion.
pride. It's ego. Expectations.
Yeah, like I mean, insecurity.
yeah.
So let's.
Who?
So I'm glad.
What did you do?
So let's talk about it. So we just talked about effective communication. That's a great
We
segue
tried.
into
I like that.
Yeah, that was great.
into
that effective
insecurity.
communication shit is funny.
Yeah. So clearly, we need to work on some effective communication, ladies and gentlemen. We'll
Not
be
today.
better.
Not today.
But
Today's a little different. I would
so I'm
say.
glad you said that. You identify insecurity, which is probably why you went in there saying, "I ain't
I'm
shit.
not ready.
I ain't got shit. I ain't
Yeah.
ready for shit."
Yeah.
Based on your insecurity,
Yep.
you go in with lack of like even effort.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So it's just like.
I think if you go in with lower expectations, then it lowers your chances of feeling inadequate or feeling like a failure up to those.
And it also
expectations.
stops you from actually evolving and being.
I agree.
or getting what you
Or
want
getting-
out of life.
Yeah.
Agreed. No, agreed.
Ooh, that ties back into your
So
other insecurity.
I.
My other insecurity.
So why would that be your?
This nigga said that.
What's my other
I don't know.
insecurity?
I think she was
Earlier-
going on a
no,
point that you were
earlier
talking
when
on.
you were talking
this
about-
insecurity right there, guys, for you.
No,
But he's like, what you talk about, what you mean?
no, don't turn red. I'm saying
Am I right?
earlier.
Nah, we just fucking.
I wasn't.
Now you are, because I said that. Earlier
funny.
you were talking
You're not
about your
Now
business
you are.
and how you effectively communicate, and the reason why you don't effectively communicate the way you
fear,
want to.
fear of failure.
Right.
Yes.
So it does trickle into your personal
Yes.
life
Mm-hmm.
as well, which is interesting. But how do you, I guess, acknowledging your insecurity, why do you divulge into it more than try to remove yourself from it?
Why have I?
Well, have I? Yeah, sorry.
It's safe. Feel safe. It allows me to know what could happen.
I feel like as men, we play like this. It's so weird, like, because I've had conversations with like friends, and it's like, you ever had that friend is like you used to do shit with them and build, and there's all of a sudden it's like they've just become so stuck and monotonous in this lifestyle where it's just like, I don't have time, I don't have this, and I don't have that.
Yeah.
It's like you've kind of like cut yourself off from the ability to do anything more than what you've done. You like hit this ceiling.
Fact.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen? Like, I don't think I've ever experienced that where it's just like I don't see more for myself. Have you ever been in that space where it's just like that's it, I'm good?
It's not something that not me. I don't know about.
I don't think it's
goodness.
I don't think it's necessarily I don't see more for myself.
Did I lie, Amara?
No, you didn't.
Absolutely.
No, yeah, it's
I
not.
know that for a fact.
But I'm saying,
I don't think it's a matter of not seeing more for myself. It's not feeling ready for what you
Being
think might be
scared.
ahead. So it's not about you not seeing more. I know that there's more for me, but I may feel like due to what I've been through or due to where I am or where I think that I am, that I'm just not ready for that because I'm going to let somebody down.
I think that, yeah, like that was, he said it earlier. The thought of having to execute or to operate at, the high level,
maximum level,
that it is
overwhelming.
It's scary.
A bit overwhelming.
right.
But I do think that in general, like if you move through life with the idea of just operating a little bit past that insecurity, that fear or whatever, man.
Because when I think about it, I'm okay with failing, but you never could fail if you never try.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? And I've failed
But
many
failing
times.
is scary.
Failing
hate
is
it.
scary, but you know what else is scary? Never attempting.
ever, yeah.
trying.
No, I
And-
get
and
it.
never knowing.
But
if
you know what?
could've.
In the Black community, perfection
That's what I'm saying.
is, key. Like, I don't know. So
No, it's a
you
fact.
failing is like, oh, wow, that sounds like such a scary thing. So when you're thinking about going to the next step, it's like, but I'm
I hate when we say
amazing at this.
A lot
the
of
Black
times,
community, though, because-
I say I agree with that because sometimes, even if it's like we kind of cherish the bag, right, a lot more than something that we actually want to do in life. So a lot of people like they'll have a job, it's steady, blah blah blah, and because our community, from my knowledge,
Experience.
from my experience, they really like value that. So I may skip out on going to be a teacher, even though it's going to be a $20,000 pay cut than what I might be making over here because I don't want to be seen like I'm not making enough.
Right.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with failing?
Failure.
Yeah.
Because that's what you actually want
perception,
to do. Right.
perception is like, oh, like
Yeah, but if you're getting the bag over here doing this
And you're
and
not-
succeeding clearly, how does failure
But he's
come
not
into-
happy doing what he's doing.
yeah, I'm saying
Yeah, but
sometimes
how
we'll,
does failure come into that?
Because if you're going to switch from being a teacher to this, people are going to talk shit to you because you were making more money over here and you became a teacher.
Yeah, but where does failure come into this?
perception.
I think that you're not acknowledging that going lower in tax bracket is a failure in the Black community. So you
No.
going from making six figures to $50,000 a year to be a
It's
teacher.
a failure to who? Who's judging?
Perception. I'm saying perception.
I
If
could
you're
understand-
happy with what you're doing
To-
come on, let's be real. If you're a damn good fucking teacher, let's say you are an engineer first, making 140,000 or whatever, and then you end up getting a teaching job at whatever prep school or whatever private school
Yep.
as an engineer fucking teacher at a high school.
Yeah.
And it's a pay cut, and you're thriving, and you're impacting kids and all.
What's
these
thriving
things.
mean?
What?
What does thriving mean?
Thriving isn't only financial. If I was working 70 hours a week as an engineer, get that camera on me. If I was working 70 hours a week as
Thank
an
you, sir.
engineer and I'm exhausted, I never get to see my kids, I'm frustrated all the time, and then I get to work doing the same job or working within the same field.
Yeah,
I'm actually impacting kids' lives. Yeah, I took a pay cut, but I'm still able to live in a comfortable space.
Provide,
Can you?
Depends on what the pay cut was.
Yeah, it depends on what.
And it depends on what my lifestyle requires.
So if you went from one lifestyle to another, so if you were living in a house and you had to move and basically move into an apartment, a 2-bedroom from a 4-bedroom house.
People do it every day.
First off, people do it every day. Let's be very clear.
Willingly.
People that make 6 figures right now are living paycheck to paycheck. It's not like ever.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that.
And I don't think this is a black community thing either.
That's my point. And
okay.
Well, listen, because I feel like often, and Walk talked about this a few podcasts ago. We want, like us black people, we like to cling on to all the struggles and think that it's exclusive to us, and it's not the case. There is somebody out here that's white that's going through the same thing right now, where we're talking about the ideas.
But the struggle for black people is just.
I'm not even
more universal.
Even because you was talking about bag chasing specifically.
But let's even go down to something a little more. How many women did you feel like you should have had growing up? What? How many women do you feel like you should have had growing up? How many girlfriends do you feel like you should have had growing up?
One good one should.
How many do you talking to you then, nigga?
Oh, you talking about
how many do you feel like you nigga? At least
nigga, get out of here.
5. What?
Get your pure ass out of here.
I don't get the like. What I'm saying is, I should have had?
If you had one, you felt less than in our community. I can't speak to the white community. I'm saying in our community, if you only had one, if you was faithful to one woman, that was not highly exalted amongst our culture.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that analogy ain't it.
It's not it because
I feel like it is it because
that's
perception
it for what he's
and
saying.
what it is two different things.
But those are two different topics that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. I do know, especially off of my conversations with the other counterparts, I do get that, again, us specifically is a hyper focus on dating and women and more whatever. I know that for a fact. Mm-hmm. But I also know a lot of white people who idolize the bag as well. The bag is everything to them as well.
That's a fact.
And a Spanish person, and a this person, and that person.
That's a fact. I think the difference is they don't look down on others in their community if they have less or more.
I think that is. I don't think that's something we can accurately speak to, while also saying I have never. How many? You can't have it both ways. You just said that I can't speak for the white community. I can only speak for the black community within how many people having 5 girlfriends versus 1, and then you're trying to speak for those same communities.
Studies show today that blacks do not uplift each other as much as every other race.
I feel like you're yelling at me.
My bad. Every other race
what studies?
uplifts. What do you mean? What studies?
Don't say studies.
I'm saying studies because I didn't cite it. I don't have the .com that it was.
Dr. Umar, please come in the room.
Nah, that's a fact.
Dr. Umar, please come in the room.
I'm saying
his ass out. He got the case. He's like Pan-African.
How many of people that you know in the white community? Let's say people that you know. If their cousin or their whomever needs this, a job, X, Y, and Z, they don't feel less than if they putting somebody else on. A lot of us, and I know this from my own experience, will turn the other cheek and not help the other person due to feeling like they might
mess it up.
They might go over them. They might, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's
I don't agree with that, and I will say that
over them and mess it up.
I don't either.
Here's my thing. I've been in a lot of rooms with in just the last few years, and I'm not saying that what you're saying is irrelevant. I think
that doesn't happen, right?
And it doesn't happen. What I'm saying is it doesn't give credit to all the other things that are happening. There's a lot of black spaces that are healthy black spaces. I was just in a healthy black space Friday where I lost my $800 goddamn lens, but that's beside the point. Where
somebody stole it.
It's definitely gone, but let's just pray that it's still there. But I was in a healthy space where we're having conversations where we're uplifting and saying, hey, we understand that we acknowledge the trials and tribulations that us as a community face, but we don't have to live in this crab in a barrel mentality.
I agree.
And again, I think your insecurity is the problem, not the actual Yeah,
I think us even having the conversation of not having to live in a crab in a barrel mentality means that it's actually that mentality right now.
Mm-hmm.
In order for that conversation to be
To take place.
Thank you. In order for that conversation to take place, it has to be a problem within our community, which is why it's happening.
Right. It's absolutely a problem, but it's also something that has a solution. And if all we're doing is acknowledging the problem, which is what we're saying in the black community, the reason why this is happening is because of this. But where are we?
Identifying the problem.
Yeah,
but you're saying that there's no problem.
No, I never said that.
Yeah, no.
You did.
So what
You're
I
saying that
said,
you don't think that
because that's not what was said.
I never said that.
I said, because I was the one who kind of whatever. But what I said was that is not a problem that's exclusive to the black community. And I said, I'm saying that because oftentimes it's like, well, yeah, the black community, it's not just us. Other people are experiencing this shit too. It's real life. Like, let's be specific. You're talking about bag chasing, the hyper focus on getting to money. Mm-hmm. That is a thing that is not specifically for us and only us.
I agree.
There's people all over that are literally just, they wake up, go to sleep.
And I think the bigger issue that we're kind of is where it draws insecurity, as though black people are the only people that are insecure in those spaces. I don't think that, again, that's exclusive to us. And I think, just speaking from an individual standpoint, like, you know what I mean? Just why is that your struggle? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't speak for the whole black community. I've lived in 2 states in my whole life.
Let's be real. White people, right? When we're talking about this insecurity regarding money and stuff like that, how many white people do we hear about that were on Wall Street or in the corporate office on the 100th floor, jump through the window, commit suicide because funds ain't funding no more? They got fired.
I don't even know if y'all knew this. Side note, story time. Did you know? Well, we all knew Victoria's Secret is that Victoria's was a man.
No.
The founder was a man. That was the secret of Victoria's Secret.
I don't know.
What I didn't know until the other day is that apparently he sold Victoria's Secret to someone, and then that shit went boom, 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 and this motherfucker committed suicide by jumping off the Golden State Bridge in 1993. Did you guys know that?
No.
Oh, wow.
So to your point,
That makes sense.
But that happens so many times where, again, like, I'm just trying to be like mindful of what I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying. You're saying as far as like bag chasing, but I think that what Vonnie, he was more speaking about perfection. Like, we want to be perfect. We want to be twice as good as everybody else.
That wasn't what he said.
No, I know, but I'm
that's
hoping
how
that's
she
what he was
alliterated
getting
it. Yeah.
I told y'all she thinks she know everything. You know,
I hear that, but again, if we're identifying insecurity, I don't see how avoiding perfection helps with perfection.
It doesn't. It just helps you avoid failing.
But again, if you fail, it's like you feel terrible.
It's the paralyzing fear of like, if I don't do it, then I'll never know. But I can just say that I never tried. Like, if I would have tried, I probably would have did it. But no issue there.
So you don't have an insecurity within mediocrity?
Me in particular.
I'm just saying, whoever, if that's the way you approach it,
I think that.
I
think that
it cripples me.
I think that it's not like what I said is not synonymous, because I think that thought is independent of that.
In what way?
I don't want to fail doesn't necessarily mean that I enjoy mediocrity.
Because I'm perfect.
Right now, where I stand, I'm good.
Right.
If I try this and I fuck up, I failed. It's not necessarily mediocrity. It's just that if I try something that I don't really know how to do.
I mean, but to me, that sounds like you're living a life of like the bare minimum.
Absolutely.
Which is mediocrity, right?
Well, it depends on, I could potentially be satisfied with where I am, but I'm saying it in a sense of.
I don't think you could be satisfied where you are and also acknowledge that you're fearing excelling. That doesn't make sense.
I don't think there's a fear.
I don't know if it's excelling.
That's two different arguments.
Of failure.
Two different arguments.
Please explain.
So you saying you don't want to excel? Like, okay, some people don't want to be the boss of everybody.
That's fine. But if you don't want to do it, don't say I'm not doing it because I'm scared.
Right.
That's different than saying I don't want to do it.
But I'm saying, like, you're saying, oh, okay, well, you don't want to excel, so
all right,
that's
guys,
mediocre.
listen. Yeah, because we're going all over the place now.
It's that liquor.
A little bit.
I gotta hit you guys with it.
We didn't even
Reality
talk
of the
about
situation is, right?
what we're supposed to talk about.
Insecurity.
These insecurities, I don't want to say that insecurities shouldn't be present, because I think that it is a natural, not natural, but it comes with experience in life and the things that you go through, right? But I will say that we should not be insecure. And when I say that, I mean, like, we should, self-awareness, number one, is the biggest thing. You should be able to look in the mirror and identify what your insecurities are, where you lack, whatever the case is. Go and seek therapy. If you know that you're insecure, you're dealing with whatever, go and find help. Dig deep inside. Like, figure out how to deal with that. I feel like too often we're far too First of all, there's no awareness. Let's be real. Yeah. Like, to even hear you say, like, oh no, I'm actually insecure to, what was it that you said in the beginning? It was something, whatever you said. But like, most men aren't gonna sit here and be like, nah, I'm a little insecure in regards to this. Yeah. Like,
yeah, I mean, and again, like you said, it's self-awareness.
And then to hear somebody else say that shit.
It's definitely about self-awareness. And I feel like we all have insecurities, and it's like, how do you, and you express them in different ways, where it's like, you get angry when someone says something, a certain thing to you, versus, you know what I mean? It's like,
what's one for you?
I would say, well, my weight right now, I'm definitely insecure with that.
We're on the same page.
Definitely.
Is that why you joke about it?
Not me too.
And yeah, and I probably approach it that way for those reasons. I would say that's definitely my biggest struggle. I've never weighed this much in my goddamn life, but it's not only something that is visual, it's something that I'm physically dealing with, and it sucks. Yeah. So it's like I gotta take a picture right now. I'm gonna hate this fucking picture, and there's no way I'm gonna like this picture.
With that insecurity, what does it cripple you with?
I wouldn't say it. It's just something I'm always
dancing.
It's that's my just having a shitty leg, but it's just something that I always acknowledge, because it's like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, I'm not really feeling that nigga looking back. So, you know what I mean? And it's like, obviously there's ways to approach it. I have, I won't get too deep into my own shit that's kind of like stopping me from addressing it in a way that I'd like to, but it's something, because there's so many like stop signs that's not allowing me. It's just like, I feel like this shit's never gonna go away. So it's one of those things where I guess I can understand where you're coming from, where it's like, I because of the fear I have of like me probably being stuck, it's like I almost don't address it. It's just like, I'm like, okay, fuck it. Even though I don't want to say fuck it.
Now,
yeah.
Well, not comfortable.
So it's like, now I'm going to buy a size 38 jeans, and it's like, no, baby, you should like try to fit into your 36s.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Does that stop you from approaching women?
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Like this.
Does that stop you from approaching women?
No.
Approaching women.
I would say
inbox.
No, I don't.
What?
Yeah,
DM. Picture from 2015. There we go.
No, dead ass. But no, I don't really look at it from those type of like outside sources.
Yeah.
It's more so the internal stuff that I deal with. Yeah. So cool. I would say that's my number one insecurity right now. Yeah. Yeah.
What's your number one? Don't act like you ain't got none, nigga.
He said I'm perfect.
No, I'm definitely not perfect. I think my number one insecurity, becoming successful, I think, is my biggest insecurity.
I think we can go deeper than that.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. I mean, excuse me, guys. How much more deeper do you want me to go than that? That's what he said.
Balls deep.
Balls deep.
I think you can get more like, being, well, you know what? Let's dive into that.
Yeah, what is
do you
your
mean by
fear
that?
when you say successful? And I'll open up the question.
Thank you, Walt.
Get
deeper.
What is it that you feel? Is it the success itself? Is it the fact that you think you can't keep up with? Because I think a lot of times when we talk about success, or we talk about, oh yeah, I want to make $1 million, no one addresses the maintenance.
I think for me, it's about, all right, so obviously I've had a lot of business ventures. I've tried, a lot of different things. I think that due to all of the failures per se, or, not getting what I hope to get out of a situation, has kind of like left me to feel a little like Vonnie's favorite word, inadequate. Like I feel like sometimes like almost delusional. Like, bro, what am I doing? Am I really built for this? Like,
I can understand that. I definitely.
We've had those conversations.
Yeah,
where
I've definitely
like,
been there.
Your mind is almost playing tricks on you. Like, and there's times I have to like really not actually look myself. I mean, sometimes I do really look myself in the mirror, but like,
with the water,
get your shit together. Like, you know who the fuck you are. Like,
that's facts.
So how does that
just
play
as
with
like
other
a
people?
reminder? But like, I'm not gonna lie, that's probably the biggest like. When I am going through it and I'm stressed out and I'm like, in one of those moods, it's typically like, damn, like I'm feeling the pressure. Like you said, it is maintenance. It's a lot of work. And I kind of like can resonate with Vonnie a little bit, like, especially with everything that has transpired in regards, again, to the failures. It's almost like, well, I mean, if I just not even acknowledge this and just put energy here for now, or whatever the case is, or something I've learned that kind of like hyper focusing on everybody else has helped to kind of like distract me from
yourself.
So it's a bit of a projection.
Yeah, for sure. And it's something that I noticed probably.
That's heavy. That's heavy. Obviously, you have to answer the question.
He did.
Now,
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
My most insecure. No, hell
no, not his most insecure.
Oh, I thought it was.
I'm curious to know yours because I feel like you have so many. Is it within the space of talent?
Not you have so many.
Yo, put the camera on me real quick.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
I'm sick of this shit. They done called my man a pussy. They done called him stupid. They done called him.
If you heard what I said you have a lot of talents. So I'm wondering, is it within the space of talent?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
So
Definitely no.
That's
So
funny.
I heard what I wanted to hear.
I'm most insecure about two things: my smile and
looks.
Well, all of that. Looks,
Smile and looks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell, he didn't tell you your insecurity lumps.
And then
My parents is one.
and then my money.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I'm not broke, but I ain't where I want to be. And I feel like having 3 kids.
Cut the shit. We broke.
No, I'm saying yeah, but I'm saying
He said,
like,
nah, y'all broke.
I'm saying,
we broke.
Like,
he said, I just paid for that chicken. Fuck what you talking about?
look, you're right. I'm broke. I'm not poor. Right.
Got it.
I am broke, but so like yeah, like I want to be in a more confident space to take care of my family.
Let me ask the question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which one is worse, being broke?
Yeah.
Or poor?
Poor.
Being poor is absolutely
Poor
not.
is definitely worse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
is a
broke
mindset.
because
Absolutely not.
Poor is
But
a mindset. Poor is your pocket. Poor is your character. Poor is everything.
Yeah. What he
poor
said.
is your circumstance.
Broke.
No,
Broke.
Is your circumstance.
Broke
It's
is your circumstance.
I ain't got no money right now. I'm
Yeah.
broke right
Right,
now.
broke
but
right
tomorrow
now.
I'm gonna have it
When I'm
when I get
poor-
paid.
Broke sounds like something
Poor
that can't be
means
fixed.
poor can't be fixed.
Broke is something like,
Yeah, but you
if
could
I broke
you
this
could
lamp,
grow
I could
up
definitely
poor.
fix it.
Yeah.
You could grow up poor and grow up to be rich, become rich.
You grew up broke.
You could grow up broke and still grow up rich.
No. You grew up broke.
So you can't grow up poor. I mean, you can't, go through life poor.
you can't. If you're poor,
If
I
you're
mean,
going
you
through
could
life poor,
be
you're
both, but you ask which one's worse.
Yeah. Okay.
Being broke.
I think poor has a lot more to do with. It's not just poor. Is I've accepted where I am.
And I'm just running with it.
I'm poor.
I'm making it
like,
happen.
I'm poor.
Yeah. I think what you said is super valid because poor is so much more than finance.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's character.
Poor mind.
it's mindset.
Poor heart. Poor anything. Like poor is like you're.
I like that. Go ahead. Sorry.
And then it's the money and then looks and stuff. Like I ain't got no eyebrows.
It looks like you do on the camera though.
Does it?
No,
you do.
It look like
I fuck with it.
you putting some drops on?
I've been doing a
Rogaine.
Nah, it's not Rogaine.
roller?
I've been doing. It's actually like it's a
Enhancer.
It's
that
serum.
nigga about,
It's called brow serum or something like that.
it's working.
Is it?
Dead ass
I've
because
been putting it on
from what you
every
said in the
night,
last
bro.
couple of weeks, it's very visual.
Yeah.
It's very
That's why I was
visible.
like,
I need to
I
put it
forgot
on.
you
All you
have
gotta do,
mustache.
You just
You don't
throw
need
it
it.
in.
eat pussy with the top hat for your face.
No, you don't.
Tried it.
You don't need to do that.
Tried it. It doesn't matter.
I told you they're gonna be
said,
bald headed.
I've tried everything. I don't.
No, it's fine.
let it dry up like a mask.
So do you think that from that insecurity, does that kind of like something that affected how you approach being in the front?
Yes.
When it comes to like music and things of that nature.
Yep. Hating my smile.
There we go.
Hating my face.
wow.
I never want to do videos. You know,
I mean, even down to like wardrobe, like that used to be a thing too.
Yeah, wardrobe. But you know, our video that we shot, we did it silhouette.
Literally because he didn't like the outfit, and I didn't even know how to shoot silhouette.
But I used to tell him, you know, because that was at the time when me and you know, he was the ops. I used to tell him like, yo, bro, like, it might sound like a lot, but like, ask him to send you pictures of his outfits prior, because that was kind of the system that we had. For you, it kind of helped you to put together and like, you know, all right, this is fire, whatever the case is. But yeah, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, see? So you were actually doing your job when it came to effectively communicating without even knowing it. In some aspects.
Yeah, not for sure.
Yeah.
Nah, I think
Because
I get it. All jokes aside, I really feel like I get a bad rap, and I acknowledge like where I fall in terms of effective communication.
And I think it's more of the
but it's
verbal
not always
sense.
like that.
I think
If it was ever that bad, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I would have been like, damn, I can't.
no, but I mean, because like,
I think
as
for
much
all
as the
of you
ops
guys.
as he was, that nigga was still like, yeah, do this and do that and do this. So I was like, oh, this nigga's terrible at being the
Even
ops,
just like I said, just tips of knowing like
The most helpful op ever.
about to line that ass up, you know. But yeah, nah, that's dope though.
That's funny. But yeah, so I mean, that's about it though. I think.
Yeah, we need to get our looks together so we can be the baddest motherfuckers on the podcast.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm gonna get a bag. First thing I'm doing.
First thing I'm doing is teeth.
I had a bag
You
and
do
it's not teeth.
wait, so for teeth,
Veneers
bag.
or implants. I don't care.
I
No,
don't
just
care
get
either.
implants. Don't get a.
Yeah, I'm
going
thinking
all the
about
way.
implants.
wait,
yeah.
what's the difference? I'm sorry.
They
What the
take
hell?
your teeth
Veneers,
out.
they
I want
shave
take
your
all of them
Take
out.
everything out
I
and-
want a new pearly whites.
Okay.
Yeah,
So they
they-
make you look like sharpen and
Them
Yeah.
joints in the gums.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I didn't know that was.
Just get the
I want the real thing.
I want the
like,
implants. It's like what, like 20,000 or something?
Shit, that's on the lower side.
Is it?
Well, if you want all of your teeth, you don't want all of them.
All of them, take them all.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Do I need the ones in the back? No, I'm just playing.
No.
I'm playing.
That's funny. I mean, I don't know. I'm just like that in general. This is a totally different conversation, but I'm just like, fuck it, let's do it all.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck a wee ball.
So, do we want to address anything else? What about?
I mean, I don't think that. I mean, for both conversations, we didn't do that good of a job. I think that there's so many different levels, but that's what happens when we have these kinds of conversations.
Yeah.
Part two?
But no, I do want to leave off at least. I don't know if we're about to wrap up, but
Yeah.
I felt we kind of skipped over it, and not intentionally, but like deal with those insecurities, like
Oh yeah.
because they tend to show up when you don't acknowledge and you don't realize what's going on. Everybody else does.
Yeah.
So if we don't address it and look in the mirror, you know.
And remember, if you think you're effectively communicating and the other person cannot hear you, you may not be effectively communicating. But it could also just be that they don't have effective comprehension.
Okay.
But it would behoove you to figure out which one it is.
That brother said behoove. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is another episode of the Nun The Wizer podcast. Please show some love to my guy right here, El Presidente. Big Trip in the building with us, killing it. Obviously, we got the audio engineer extraordinaire, Miss Amara, the First Lady, and your boy Walkstradamus. Ladies, gentlemen, please do us a favor. Go on our YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, because obviously we do this live video for you guys. Obviously, come show us some love on our social medias, on IG, on TikTok, and obviously on Facebook. We are engaged, and we're going to continue to engage, so please give us as much feedback as you can. And with that being said,
Share some insecurities with us, maybe not. Maybe you're not aware. I don't know. But drop them in the comments, please. We would love to hear you guys'. We shared ours. Everybody was vulnerable except for Amara, who can share her biggest insecurity before we get out of here.
We gotta wrap up.
it's okay.
And that is all.
It was.
I bet.
It's
How
literally-
convenient.
Said it's literally blinking.
Okay.
And we out of here. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.
Nun The Wizer.